everyone to this special virtual event, our 2021 Veterans Assembly. While we know this assembly is a very impactful assembly in person, we are thankful for everyone being flexible while we offer this assembly to you virtually. Prior to my opening remarks, I could tell you that an undertaking of this assembly, given the changes that had to happen in order to make it work, would not have been possible without members of our student council, who will do a majority of running and operating this assembly. Mr. Macropolis and Mrs. Schuler, who will provide the singing and the band for today. In addition to, a bulk of the work has been on Mr. Fox, our district technology department, and his staff for being able to offer multiple cameras and for you to be able to observe this from at home. So I would like to take this time to thank all of those who have done their work for this. Thank you. Intently from those classrooms. I also want to welcome our Palos South community members who are watching from their households. I would also like to offer a special thank you to our friends at Peace Village in Palos Park for joining us remotely from their location as well. And lastly, I'm sure we have veterans who are joining us from those locations that I've listed above, and we want to send a special Palos South welcome to each of you for joining us. So thank you. We are here today to honor our heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, and their dedication, and to say thank you for their sacrifices. Thinking of the heroes who are joining us from their homes and those who are here only in spirit, a person can't help but feel awed by the enormity of what they encountered. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways during such extreme times. We are here today to honor those individuals who have nobly served. I encourage you, whether you're a student, staff member, family member, or veteran, to consider the freedoms that we have and recognize the efforts of those individuals that we do honor today, as they rose to the nation's call because they wanted to protect a nation which has given them and us so much in return. At this time, I would like to officially begin the Veterans Day Assembly and ask those watching to please stand as our distinguished color guard from the Palos Park Scout Troop 699 presents the colors. After the colors have been presented, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Thank you. Now I would ask Student Council Representative Ryan to come to the front for the POW MIA flag.
The POW MI flags. Veterans organizations throughout the country, such as the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, the Korean War veterans, and the Vietnam veterans, open their meeting in a special way. They place an empty chair in front of the speaker, and then they drape a POW MIA flag over it, just as Sarah is doing now. POW stands for Prisoner of War, and MIA stands for Missing in Action. This is to remember them and honor them. There are still thousands of American veterans missing who must be accounted for. Now, Sydney will explain why we are here today.
In our great country of America, we enjoy considerable independence and tremendous freedoms. We students can think and speak as we please, travel and live where we desire, and pursue our own dreams. But now and then, those freedoms are challenged. When that happens, the men and women of our country must and do step forward to defend our freedoms. That is why we are here today, to say thank you to all of our veterans who served our country so faithfully, that we may continue to enjoy our freedoms and our independence. This year, we are mindful of the fact that we are home because of the free. We are home of the free because of the brave. We recognize your sacrifices on our behalf. We celebrate your service. We remind you that we are forever grateful. Most of all, we vow that we will never forget you or those who served with you. And now, Nancy will present the history of Veterans Day.
The history of Veterans Day. In 1921, 100 years ago, an unknown soldier from World War I was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. This memorial gesture was to recognize the ending of World War I on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. This day was called Armistice Day. In 1954, through congressional action, President Dwight D. Eisenhower had the name Armistice Day changed to Veterans Day to include those who served in World War II and the Korean War. On Memorial Day in 1958, an unknown American war dead from World War II and an unknown American war dead from the Korean War were laid next to the unknown from World War I. Then in 1984, an unknown from the Vietnam War was laid next to the others at the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery. Today at 11 a.m. Washington time, the official ceremony will take place at the Memorial Amphitheater, which is built around the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery. A combined color guard of the military services will pay tribute to all the veterans.
Our performing arts ensemble will now perform a medley of God Bless the USA and America the Beautiful, as arranged and directed by Mrs. Schuler.
Take that away.
Thank you, Performing Arts Ensemble. I'd like to ask Amit to present Amora Kiwi's poem, We Are All Odysseus in Those Days.
We were all Odysseus in those days. A young man learns to in the mud, an ocean away from home, a rifle in his fingers. A friend watches his final breath slip ragged into the ditch, a thing the friend will carry back to America. Wound, souvenir, backstory. He'll teach literature to young people for 40 years. He'll coach his daughter's softball teams, root for Red Wings and Lions and Tigers. Dance well, love generously. He'll be quick with the joke and firm with handshakes. He'll rarely talk about the war. If asked, he'll tell you his favorite story. Odysseus escaping from the Cyclops with a bad pun and good wine, and a sharp stick. It's about buying time and making do, he'll say. It's about doing what it takes to get home. And you see, he's been talking about the war all along. We all want the same thing from this world. Call me nobody, let me live.
Thank you, Amit. We would like to take a moment to remember with gratitude the men and women who are currently serving in our military on active duty, especially Jake Peters. Our thoughts are with him. Protecting Us by Joanna Fush. While we were home on our comfortable sofas, munching and watching TV, our veterans were fighting in our battles, in situations we'd certainly flee. Whatever would keep us all safe is what they were called to do. Rough duties of every kind, protecting us, me and you. So when you see vets, please thank them for their service and sacrifice. Be aware and always remember, for us, they paid a price. At this time, we would like to recognize those veterans who are watching with us at home, our honored guest.
We would also like to recognize those veterans who have served that are no longer with us. We will ask our student council representatives to come to the front and read the names of those who have served and those students who are in their classrooms now, but honoring those family members.
We would like to recognize Jean Bullion, who served in the Army in 1944 through 1946, who is being honored by Sidney and Leah Anderson. We would like to honor Mike Bullion, who served in the Navy in 1972 through 1976, who is being honored by Sidney and Leah Anderson. We would like to honor Raymond Crossteck, who served in the Army through 1968 through 1970, who is being honored by Josie Crossteck. We would like to honor Daniel Clark, who served in the Navy through 1968 through 1972, being honored by Josie Crossteck. Gregory Cox, who served in the Air Force in 2010 and is being honored by Bradley Vega Cox. We would like to honor Richard Cunningham, who served in the Navy in 1950 through 1953 and is being honored by Mr. Rosinski. We'd like to honor Danny Delgreen, who served in the Army National Guard, who served from 1962 through 1968, who is being honored by Peyton Merritt. We would like to honor David Doer, who served in the Army in 1968 through 1970, who is being honored by Isabella Kajelson. We would like to honor Terry Elkins, who served in the Navy in 1966 through 1975 and is being honored by Mr. Rosinski. We would like to honor Thomas Elkins, who served in the Navy in 1940 through 1944 and is being honored by Mr. Rosinski. We would like to honor Raymond Fallon, who served in the Army in 1957 through 1959 and is being honored by Finn Karate.
We would like to honor Patrick Hackett, who served in the Marine Corps in the Vietnam War from 1968 to 1971. He's being honored by Julian Galbancia. We would like to honor Edward Halloran, who served in the Army from 1964 to 1968. He's being honored by Piper Sterling. We would like to honor Donta Hyde, who served in the Army 101st Airborne Division from 1996 to 2001 and from 2001 to 2005, who is being honored by Peyton Merritt. Thomas Janowiak served in the Army from 1969 to 1971 and is being honored by Mrs. Schuller. John T. A. Cargbo served in the branch of U.S. Army Reserves in 1992 and is being honored by Emma Cargbo. Debbie Lech served in the Air Force from 1971 to 1975 and is being honored by Isabella Keldson. William Little served in the U.S. Army from 1960 to 1962 and is being honored by Miss Atkinson. James Zeke Lowry served in the Army from 1967 to 1969 in the Vietnam War and is being honored by Luke Frankiewicz. Maggie Morocco served in the Army from 1942 to 1945 and is being honored by Aaron Aldrich.
We would like to honor John Morocco, who served in the Army from 1970 to 1972 and is being honored by Aaron Aldrich. We would like to honor Norman Masse, who served in the Navy from 1963 to 1966 and is being honored by Leo Nemec. We would like to honor Gerald Moran, who served in the U.S. Navy from 1955 to 1957 in the Korean War and is being honored by Charlie Rosnick. We would like to honor Joe F. Morozinski, who served in the Army from 1943 to 1945 and is being honored by Ms. Zero. We would like to honor Walter Nolan, who served in the Army from 1940 to 1942 and is being honored by Macy Tomey. We would like to honor Joseph Nemec, who served in the Army from 1966 to 1968 and is being honored by Leo Nemec. We would like to honor Brian Pater, who served in the Army from 1999 to 2004 and is being honored by Amelia Pater. We would like to honor Victor Perez, who served in the Air Force from 1970 to 1978 and is being honored by Victoria and Veronica Perez. We would like to honor Larry Peters, who served in the Army from 1966 to 1968 and is being honored by Isabel Keldson.
We would like to honor Thomas Post, who served in the Army between 1969 and 1970 and is being honored by Chance and Mia Narciso. We'd like to honor Joseph Pucci, who served in the Army between 1988 and 1999 and is being honored by Piper Sterling. Angel Rabati was a nurse for the Jordanian Army and they served for 12 years and is being remembered by Gina Rabati. We'd like to honor Michael Riley, who served in the Army between 1948 and 1950 and is being recognized by teacher Eileen Fitzgerald. We'd like to honor David Sanders, who served in the Army in 1969 and is being honored by Violet Koyenga. We'd like to honor Wayne Schroeder, who served in the Army between 1970 and 1971 and is being honored by Emma and Ben Schroeder. Dennis Schuler served in the Army between 1968 and 1970 and is being recognized by teacher Amanda Schuler. We'd like to honor Thomas George Simon, who served in the Army in the Vietnam War and is being honored by Scott Simon. We'd like to honor Luke Sloan, who served in the U.S. Coast Guard between 2004 and 2008 and is being honored by Isabella Aguilar.
We would like to honor Gerald Snell, who served in the Navy from 1960 to 1963 and is being honored by Luke Snell. We would like to honor James Steele, who worked in the Air Force from 1941 to 1945 and is being honored by Sydney and Leah Anderson. We would like to honor John Stewart, who worked in the Navy from 1958 to 1962 and is being honored by teacher Mrs. Duffner. We would like to honor William Tay, who worked in the Army from 1966 to 1967 and is being honored by Violet Kuyenga. We would like to honor Carl Trout, who worked in the Navy from from 1993 to 1997 and is being recognized by Lucy Alford. We would like to honor Philip Vaida, who worked in the Army from 66 to 67, being honored by Tyler Waller. We would like to honor Eugene Rosinski, who worked in the Army from 1940 to 1944 and is being honored by Mr. Rosinski. We would like to honor Darren Waller, who worked in the Marine for 4 years and is being honored by Tyler Waller. We would like to honor Ralph Waller, who worked in the Army during World War II and is being honored by Tyler Waller. We do ask that everyone from their homes or in the classrooms to please honor those individuals whose names have just been called. Thank you. Now our Cardinal Marching Band, under the direction of Mr. Macropolis, will perform a medley of service songs narrated by Gabriella Paulus.
The Marines hymn, followed by the Cassians Go Rolling Along. Anchors Away, representing the Navy. U.S. Air Force song.
Thank you, Mr. Macropolis. I will now recite Bury Me with Soldiers by Reverend Charles R. Fink. Father Charles R. Fink from Northport, New York, served in Vietnam as a sergeant in the 199th Light Infantry Bridge. I've played a lot of roles in my life. I've met a lot of men. I've done some things I'd like to think I wouldn't do again. And though I'm young, I'm old enough to know someday I'll die and think about what lies beyond and beside whom I would lie. Perhaps it doesn't matter much. Still, if I had my choice, I'd want a grave amongst soldiers when, at last death quells my voice. I'm sick of the hypocrisy of lectures by the wise. I take the men with all his flaws who goes through scared and dies. The troops I know were commonplace. They didn't want the war. They fought because their fathers and their fathers' fathers had before. They cursed and killed and wept. God knows they're easy to too deride. But bury me with men like these. They faced the guns and died. It's funny when you think of it, the way we got along. We'd come from different worlds to live in one where no one belongs. I didn't even like them all, and I'm sure they all agree. Yet I would give my life for them. I hope some would for me. So bury me with soldiers, please. Through much maligned they be. Yes, bury me with soldiers, for I miss their company. We will not soon see their like again. We've had our fill of war. But marry me with men like them, till someone else does more.
It is time for us to pause and remember some very special veterans who are no longer with us, but whose memories still burn bright. Please allow for a moment of silence and remembrance, followed by the playing of taps.
At this time, I would like to ask the troops from the Palos Park Scout Troop 699 to retire the colors. I would like to acknowledge the members of Troop 699 Color Guard, Mary Chapman and Katie Zumerchik. Thank you to all the students, staff, and community for joining us this morning. Additionally, thank you to all of the veterans who have joined us from their homes. We are forever indebted to you for your commitment and dedication to our country. We truly hope that you enjoyed our tribute to you today. Thank you.